Oh my God. We're actually back, y'all. And I know y'all were
Hey,
expecting to hear Demetrius. Y'all was expecting to hear, welcome to the Triangle, but you're going to
hey,
hear from me
he's a
instead.
little hiatus right now.
Just a little, but y'all know how he
He
do.
got
Catch
grown
the
up stuff going on.
He
He's
does. Catch the old
adulty.
episodes if you want him. But this is the new shit with the new people. So welcome to the Triangle.
God
It's
damn.
your girl, Candy B, aka Brandi, aka that bitch, aka the best friend in your head, but don't slide in my inbox because we're not really friends.
Oh,
AKA cash at me.
wow.
Bread it.
I'll be your friend then, though. I'll be
Be
your
my
friend
friend
then,
then.
though.
Exactly. AKA event planner. AKA I'm going to be paid to be myself so I don't have to live my
Come
9 to 5
on.
again.
Come on.
I gotta speak it. I gotta speak it every time I'm on
Oh,
camera.
Lord.
All right. That's my intro.
I lost my
Y'all are
breath
welcome.
listening to you.
Y'all are welcome.
It's your girl CJ. I ain't got all of that. I'm just
You
doing
don't
my
need
thing.
it.
I
It's
don't
just
need
CJ.
it. It's just
It's
CJ.
like Madonna, Beyonce.
Oh, okay.
CJ.
I'll go with that. I like
That's
it. The
it.
one name. Just
That's it.
I like share all of that.
That's it. That's it. Share.
Share. Oh my God. Anyways, welcome back, you guys. We have a special guest and I'm excited. Listen, I'm gonna rattle this off, and I wrote it down, so I'm gonna rattle it off.
I am excited. Let's
we
see.
have in the house today
Uh-huh.
celeb psychic medium,
Boom.
speaker, author, life coach,
Boom.
disabled diva, sex positive, opinionated witch, Leo Brown. That's who we have. So sad. I was like, this is so much fun to read. Oh, yeah, there it is. There it is.
The club horns.
Thank you for coming.
I was about to say, I'm like, is there anything else that's on?
I don't know. I was just, did you have anything else?
Yeah, I was like,
No,
I
was gonna listen. I was gonna come out of the pocket and be like deep throat. No,
Oh!
but anyway.
That is for the Triangle After Dark.
I mean, it's cool if you want to add on. That's fine. But
I'm not gonna because I don't want people in my DM.
No, but I do have a question that's going to be related to some of that, so we're gonna get into it though.
Right.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So, as you guys know, if you're listening and watching us on YouTube or any of your favorite podcast platforms, if you haven't subscribed, do it now. Do it right now so you get everything else. Anyway, we are switching over. We are making sure that we're clicking in on our paranormal, parapsychological, all of that stuff going on. And he is my favorite guest right now because I have so many questions.
She's fangirling.
I'm fangirling a little bit.
Thank you. That's very sweet.
A little bit. Where do we want to start? Is there anything you want to tell us about yourself? Like, how'd you get started? How about that? How did you get started in mediumship? Because
actually, how I got started so I'll give you kind of in two parts. So I got started as a psychic. And I hate to say the whole thing, like, I've always been psychic, and
I've always known.
Right. Because you know how people do. Oh, I've never. I was a chap. No, that was not my thing. Like, I didn't know I was psychic until actually it was my best friend at the time. Okay. We were in high school. He was going through some men issues at the time, and he was like, "How long you see us being together?" And I just said it, just blurted it. I was like, "I give it 3 months." Oh. And within 3 months, he and that guy, they broke up, and that's a whole other show.
Wow.
But anyway, in my house, we didn't call it that because my mother has abilities. My mother's clairvoyant. My half sister is she's a dreamer. She dreams things and it happens. Yeah. And then with me, I've always had that ability, but we just didn't call it that. We call it gifted.
Right, right.
Because I'm originally from Alabama.
Okay.
I live in Houston, the city that needs to sleep.
Shade.
But and it's nothing against. Let me make this very clear. It's nothing against Houston. I think Houston's a wonderful city. It's just not home for me.
Gotcha.
That's fair.
Yeah. But it's been wonderful. I've learned a lot about myself. So if it's meant to be home, I'll definitely, lay down my roots here. But anywho, it wasn't really until him. He really pushed me because originally I was going to be a singer. Okay. I went to school for music. I studied voice. I said, well, if I don't become a singer and I don't have on, 30 pieces of hair like Beyonce
Come on.
and dance with boys, then what I'll do, I'll become a music teacher.
Gotcha.
So
I love that.
my major in college was musical performance, with a minor in musical education. So I said, well, I'll be a music teacher. And he was like, I think you have a beautiful voice. Because I would go after school, I would go into my room and I would just sing and sing and sing and sing. And he's like, I think you have a beautiful voice, but I think you're meant to work more with people.
Oh.
And I was like, I don't want to work with people. I don't like people.
What is people?
Right.
What does that mean?
And so, and I thought he meant like sitting behind a desk, like being a telemarketer or being a customer service rep, which I was at one point.
Exhausting.
Yes. And then I started learning about tarot. He was the one that bought me my first deck of cards.
Wow.
I owe him he and his family a tremendous debt because they were pagan, Wiccan, and they took me under their wing and was like, you look crazy, your family a little nutty, but we can work with you. Come on in here. So, and he was the one that really guided me. He didn't tell me necessarily what to do, but he just guided me, and I just took off. And I said, well, maybe this is what I'm meant to do. Gotcha. And I come from a family of entrepreneurs. My mother was a hairstylist and had on a beauty salon. My dad was a record producer, so like Boogie Down Productions, Kara's one. My dad produced them.
Okay.
So, yeah. Ooh. So I come from music in my blood, So I was like, well, maybe that's what I'm meant to do. And I said, well, I think I'm gonna turn this into a business, because I worked for the 1-800 lines and the 1-800 lines, and is he gonna call me, girl? I don't know.
Those are the questions, though.
Yeah, they are.
Those are the questions.
I understand it, because everybody wants to be. Because when you get down to brass tacks, everybody wants to be loved. Everybody wants stability.
Amen.
There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? So I understand it, because I ask the same questions. I'm like, listen, where's my husband? I want my husband. Is he coming? I ask the same questions like everybody else. So I got into the industry, the metaphysical industry, around 21.
Okay.
And it wasn't until 29, 30 that I decided to parlay it into a business. And that's how Leo Brown was born. And my mediumship abilities didn't pop up until I was 27.
Interesting.
Yeah, I was 27. Because go ahead, what were you going to say?
Oh, no, you're probably already going to tell me, but I was like, do you remember a significant event that triggered that? Go ahead, go into it.
I was going to say what it was. I was watching the Long Island Medium, kid you not.
I love it.
Wow.
And I was watching her, and I was like, this bitch. I'm like, I could do what she's doing. And I'm literally guessing the people that she's talking to. I'm like, it's grandmother. And I literally every day would watch her and be like, girl, I know what you're doing. And then I started to study. And I said, well, maybe, and then I started to think back to when I was a kid. Because I would always have paranormal things happen when I was a child. I lived in a haunted house. Excuse me. I lived in a haunted house. And, my bed would be bouncing up and down and spinning and stuff. Crazy stuff. And yeah. And so I was like, maybe that's what that was.
Yeah.
And when I went through a really deep depression when I was in college, it happened again. And I was like, oh, I think that's what this is. And I remember talking to a lot of other people who were psychics and mediums. And they were like, you make a great medium, right? And I'm like, yeah, but I don't deal with the spirit world. No. Because I'm a scaredy cat deep down. Like, I see something move and I'm like, okay.
Time to fucking go.
Time to go,
I don't want nothing to tell me to get out. Just, I'm going to go.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm going to go ahead and leave. Y'all ain't about to scare me out of here. Love y'all. Bye.
Bye.
Right. So, and then I started to, study it and look into it. And I had been on, I had worked with a paranormal group out in Virginia. And I went on my first and only paranormal investigation. I have never done it since.
Was
Wow,
it
that's
too
up
much?
this one's alley. She loves that stuff.
Was it too much when you went? Was it
Yeah,
crazy?
it was too much.
Gotcha.
Because they were dealing with like inhumane shit. And I was like,
right. So
I'm not dealing with all that. Y'all on ancient burial grounds. And,
nope.
Hard pass.
Leave them folks alone.
Was it
right.
white folks?
There's a
white folks?
Was it the clear people?
What was it? The Flower Rangers?
Flower Rangers.
Wait a minute. And then they go to, they like, well, then we're going to go to the Ku Klux Klan house. I'm like, oh, no, man. And I'm the only Black person in here. So I'm
absolutely
like,
not.
No, man.
They was going to find you.
I don't understand what they think is going to happen when these malevolent spirits come.
Right.
What do you think is going to happen?
I don't, and personally, like, when it comes to the paranormal, I don't believe in playing with spirit. I don't.
Good.
Yeah.
I really don't. I feel like if that spirit is inhabited that place, okay, baby, that's yours. You have fun with that. But I'm not messing with you. You only, unless, you're like, listen, we need this spirit out of our house. Okay. Get y'all some Florida water and some sage.
Yes.
Do what y'all need to do, but don't call on me. My thing is love relationship.
Okay. So then do you have a specific Claire that you you do?
Yes, I do actually. I am clairaudient.
Okay.
Clairvoyant, and I'm clair what's the one for clear feeling? Claircognizant.
Gotcha.
You better break them down. And for those that are not familiar,
I was like, what's the one with
give them simple definitions, CJ.
Well, clairaudient basically means that I hear things. So I'll hear a voice.
That's self-explanatory, makes sense.
Clairvoyant basically means I see. So for me, I don't physically see. Because I think if I were to physically see a spirit, yeah.
Is it the one that's in your head?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's like a movie in my mind. And then claircognizant is just empathy. I feel it. I'm like, I'm feeling this, and and I often say during my readings to people, I'm like, I see, sense, and feel this. This is one word I often say a lot is I go, does that make sense? Because I want to make sure that I'm giving you the right insight. I don't ever want to steer you in the wrong direction, unless that's the direction you want to go with.
Gotcha.
Because if I'm telling you oftentimes, listen, this man don't love you, okay? You got another woman across town, but he's my soulmate. We were meant to be together.
My twin flame.
Right. Okay. All right. Well,
yeah, but some people don't want to hear it though.
Yeah, and I can't. And let's be honest. Even I'm like that sometimes. I'm like, but I met this new man. He say he fine. He want to be with me. He does a lot of nice things for me.
He got money.
Right. But it's like, and then I go to my friends who are advisors, and they're like, listen, no, baby, he's not it. I'm like, but.
It's always like hurtful up front, but I'd much rather have someone be like, let me save you months or years of heartache.
That's true.
Letting you know from jump.
Yeah.
So
I had to go through that.
With you working with clients the way you do, I've always been curious about same thing for counselors. I've never understood how they just get that off of them, because people share so much with you. And CJ and I have talked about, different levels of being an empath we are. And it's like, sometimes it took me years to be able to just leave whatever someone put on me off of me, so I'm not crying, so I'm not depressed. How do you do that?
I'm just now learning how to do that.
Oh,
gotcha.
Because there were moments when I first started doing like the telephone lines where I would go to bed in tears.
Oh.
Because the people they would be calling me crying, like boo-hoo. And I'm like, what? Or like I never forget one woman, she called me, she was like, he took my baby. And I was like, and this is me, where are you? Where are you on the baby? Wait. Because I didn't know, and I'm just now learning to cut that off, because even when I do events, events can wear me out.
Oh my God. Protecting your energy is so important.
Yeah, because people, and unfortunately, people want to show. People, they want you to be, ooh, and I'm like,
doesn't work that way.
I want the smoke. I want the song. I want
they think you're gonna come out of like a beaded curtain.
I want you to come in like beaded captain, and I want this look.
Like a crystal ball.
But listen, but I can't blame them entirely because it doesn't help that if you go on my website or you go on like any of my social media, my picture, I look like I'm either about to like douse you in Florida water and clean you with
No, you do. I ain't gonna lie. When I went to your IG, I said, "Oh, he does this." Okay.
Yeah, I do. or depending on the picture I pick, I look like Dr. Facilier from Princess and the Frog. And I've gotten that so many times.
That is my son's favorite Disney villain. He
loves
it. He put me on it. He was like, I wish that villain had more time. I was like, you trying to tell me something, PJ? Like, you hit the sun.
I love him. Like, he's my favorite.
So good. So good.
Yeah, he and Ursula are my favorite. Ursula and Maleficent are my favorite.
Ursula is everything. My top 3 before I saw Princess and the Frog were Jafar, Hades, and Ursula. I have them on my door. That's my holy trinity before I leave the house.
Not your holy trinity.
That's your dark trinity.
Oh my
Jafar,
God.
Ursula, and Hades.
Not doing the crossover, the 3 of them. I'm so done.
That would be a key to see them all in the room together.
They're the best part about any of these movies. I love it.
But I can see it, so I can't fault the client particularly because I'm like, look at what the image I bring. So they want me to be like, I'm just like,
I love that.
I'm like, that's not who I am. I'm really not like that, but.
Yeah, and it doesn't help that like social makes it seem like people who are mediums and in that like industry are supposed to be dressed like that. You know what I mean?
Definitely. So stereotypes
have done it. Reality TV shows have done it. Like I remember when the Long Island Medium was the hot shit, right?
Oh my God.
I had like 13 reality show producers contact me because they wanted the next one. They were like, well, we need a new one, and they were like, oh, we need a Black one. So they called me and they're like, Leo, oh my God, I just want to go social media. Oh my God, I love it. Like you and all your makeup, and, you're gay, and oh my God. And
I could literally hear a producer, somebody saying it just like that.
Yeah.
Because they just see dollar signs.
Now,
they're like,
did you turn them down?
Yes.
Is that why that other boy went through?
Oh, Tyler Henry. Child, it's up to Lucy.
Let's go. All right, hold on. Exclusive. Let's get into it. What I heard was he said like Soldier Boy. I was the first. Is what I was
gonna say. I can't remember his name, but when you said that, I was like, he showed income right afterwards.
Listen, I have nothing against Tyler. I have nothing against Teresa. Okay, if I ever Tyler, Teresa, James Von Prague, John Edwards, I think they're great. But do I think that there needs to be more readers that look like us on TV?
Absolutely.
Yes, because if I'm a young boy, and I say this to every producer out there, if I'm a young boy, young girl, whatever, and I'm going through all these things, and I don't see me, what does that say? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you had like Miss Cleo, may she rest in peace. That was my Leo sister. But you had her. But then she was made fun of. She was seen as a joke.
Well, she was made into typical of what they treat us like, a caricature. Basically.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
So it's like I would love to do TV. I would love to do a show, and I've often said this. I either would love to do a talk show or a show like Y'all Fix My Life, but with a twist.
Yes, let's go.
I literally was thinking about her today, and I'm like, I'm so upset that she was like, hey, I gotta get out the game. Although I get it, because she pours so much, and she becomes such a vessel for so much at one time. And that type of family trauma on a regular, I don't care what OWN network is paying, it's just not worth it sometimes. If you start to
on one person.
deteriorate, emotionally, mentally, it's a lot. But I'm like, I just need you to like fix Britney Spears and
yeah, I would love to do
I would
that.
love for like something like that to come back again. And I
I
think
would
you'd be
love to,
perfect.
honestly, I would love to do a show like that. I don't know if you guys remember a show called Forgive and Forget. It was
Yes.
the host, yes, it was the host of Mother Love, and you had to go by a door. Yes, and she'd be like, take your place at the door. I would love to do, I would, because since they're doing reboots, I would love for them to
Yeah.
reboot
They're
that
definitely
show.
rebooting the hell out of it and everything. Well,
Yeah.
while you're
Yeah.
waiting, because our phones allow us to do so much, why not get on IG Reels or TikTok and do like little things, you know, there.
That's true. You know, it's funny that you mentioned TikTok. So TikTok, and this, I'm showing my age, even though I'm not old, but
No, we get it, honey. We're all in the same boat.
Okay, yeah. I was like, I don't know how to work
TikTok, no. TikTok is fucking exhausting.
I just figured out TikTok. I'm just
I
now
don't
getting
know how
into
to
the
do it.
It's
videos.
exhausting.
I have
Don't
no
ask
clue.
me to edit nothing fancy though. I'm still
Okay,
working on
'cause I
that.
have
That
no
girl.
clue how to use Snapchat. I have no clue how to use TikTok, and I have no clue how
I
to
gave
use
up on
Periscope.
Snapchat. I said,
Yeah,
I'm like,
Snapchat's good for filters. Can't snap and chat shit. I
Nope.
couldn't tell you.
All I know about Snapchat is that it's good for news.
That is definitely what I've heard.
That's about it.
No,
It
but
comes
that's
out
about
That's
it.
about it.
But in terms of like the Tyler Henrys of the world, I think they're fine. But I'm just gonna keep it real. I also feel like they're just actors.
Okay, so
Mm.
that's
Highly
okay.
paid
So
actors.
that's what I was getting at with him because I've
I'm gonna
talked
be
to
real on here, fuck it.
Brandi and on other episodes. I like to watch Ghost Adventures. And when you were talking about what is it? The medium. What's her name? The Jersey medium.
I just know blonde hair nails.
Yeah, they blend it.
That
So-
stacked hair.
So
guys.
you know how you said you could pick up on stuff through the screen, and I do the same thing when I'm watching Ghost Adventures. Mine's more of the non-human spirited world, apparently.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, I'm like, girl.
And
know.
so when I do watch him, I feel like there is nothing in the room half the time.
That's not.
Well,
Right?
And,
Am
and
I
that's not-
tripping?
and just like with Tyler Henry, I have no clue who's gonna be on today. And it's Lil Kim or it's T-Boz. I'm like, bitch, you know
shade. Because there's no way Little Kim's gonna roll in there and you're just gonna be
right.
there's
Like,
no type
you
of
know who it is. Because here's the thing: when you work with a reality show,
Yeah.
you're working with the whole crew. You
Right.
know what's coming. So don't sit here and
Absolutely.
act like
Big facts.
you were born last night.
Yeah.
Like, no. And I feel bad for those who are, because it's not just me. There's Wayne Gonzalez. There's Jerome Braggs. There's Savon Chample. There's so many wonderful, talented people that deserve a spot.
Right.
Because even if it's not me, I'm like, I want it to be somebody else that looks like me. So I can be like, yes, girl. But then even in that, I don't want it to be where you are a caricature, where you are an actor.
See, this is why we're doing this podcast, because we want to create a playground for that.
Yeah.
Like,
because here's the thing. When I was interviewed with those 13 reality show production companies, they were like, well, what we're gonna do, Leo, we're gonna get you out here.
Oh no.
And we're gonna have people come in. I was like, okay, I'm cool with it. I'll read for the people.
Right.
And they're like, no. They're gonna be actors.
Oh.
And I said, excuse me? They were like, no, they're gonna be actors, and we're gonna tell them what to say. They have to be blown away about what you say. And I was like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
I'm not doing that. I said, that's not why I'm in this business. Don't get me wrong. The money is nice. The money can be lovely, depending on the client.
Right.
And that's a whole other show. Anyway, but it's not just about the money.
Right.
For me, it's about integrity. Okay? The money is just an added bonus.
See, that's what I was telling her too.
So it was like, for me, I'm like, listen, if I'm gonna do this, I don't want to sit here and lose my gifts because I'm dealing with people that don't even take what I do seriously.
And that's how we know you about your shit. Yes. I truly believe in gifts and things being stripped away, like they said in the Black Panther. Away. Because you playing around with your ancestors, you playing around with all type of shit.
The way Stacey Dash lost her black card, You're hearing me?
Oh no,
well,
there
not
was
just
that.
Stacey. I mean, like look at Candace Owens. She done off her edges.
All
You
of
know,
She
them.
her
don't have no real
man.
friends. Because I said, baby, do you wrap your hair at night? Do
No,
you
she
know
don't.
anything about?
And
Don't
that's
nobody
why I'm
tell her
like, how
nothing.
can y'all trust what this woman is saying? She has no edges.
And got the same broke off bang. I
Every
can't.
time.
I'm
Every time.
Every
I'm
time.
Like, Lord.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm so glad to hear that because I thought I was tripping and I was like, maybe it's just because it's through the TV, but I swear to God, ain't nobody in that goddamn room.
No, it's
spiritually.
Not just you. And what I don't like either is like you have like the Conjuring universe. Everything with Ed and Elizabeth Warren, that's a whole nother show too.
Right.
Anyway, so with them, and may they rest. But anyway, so the point is with them, you know, everything's demonic.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it may not be that. I'm not saying
demonic sells, baby. We need to sell.
It does.
Right.
It does.
And I get it, but I'm like, but that may not be the case. That may be something else. It may be neglect. It may be anger. It may be sadness.
You know what I felt that more on than anything else? Because I've watched all those movies, don't get me wrong. I was thoroughly entertained because I like that Patrick guy, Patrick Wilson.
Oh, I love Patrick Wilson.
I love him. So
I
was like, I'm gonna watch anything he in. Father of the Year in those movies, right?
Yeah.
But I was also like, well, the Annabelle storyline never sat right with me because anytime it's involving kids in that way and they are innocent, but you got your parents doing some crazy ass shit, it should come back on the parents, not on the kid and other kids. That kind of order didn't make sense to me. I get why they did it for movies. I get it. But on anything I've experienced personally or read, it doesn't ever do that. You know what I mean?
Unless it's some kind of generational.
That's different. That's some paranormal activity shit.
You put up some stuff for yourself and your children.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And you offered up. And let's keep it real. Generational curses are a thing. Like they
definitely
really are.
That. And I believe it's more than what some people will talk about in the family. Because I told CJ recently, really, I put it on Facebook. I said we had a family meeting the other day.
Right.
And it was a Zoom meeting. I don't plan these. One of my aunts is like, everybody got to get together. We need to get to know each other better.
Have family Zooms?
Do we?
Wow.
It's so weird. Once a month, and she just wants want to get to know each other. And we all be on the Zoom like, I'm not talking to y'all. Like I'm not. But when they're talking about generational curses and stuff, because there's a lot of unresolved trauma. I said, sometimes, in my opinion, it's more than your unresolved resentment, depression, and everything else. Spiritually, there's something else tied there. So that's some stuff that counseling can't get out the way. And I'm a fan of both. I like getting my spiritual guidance and healing, and I like going to a person that could give me pills if I needed that shit.
I know that's right.
But I don't think enough people take that seriously outside of being like, well, we're just gonna pray and fast and feel better. And it's like, or sometimes that won't work.
Right. It's just like when I talk about holistic healing and stuff, that's a preventive measure more than just for healing. Because if you're not doing it preventively, you can't just have like this crazy disease and all of a sudden take an apple and get better. It's not gonna
listen.
You know what I mean?
Listen,
well,
because
like
I am holistic too.
It's kind of like we were saying about Iyanla Vanzant, you know, about her. Like she was saying, do the work. But the thing of it is, and all three of us can attest to this, majority of the people in the world, even myself at one point, we don't want to do the work.
At all.
We
just talked about this today.
So you know what?
We don't want to get into the shadow.
Full circle.
It is full circle.
They don't play with our demons, if you will. We don't want to do that.
It's because this fast action, what we were saying, me and Brandi were talking about, like everybody wants everything handed to them on the silver platter overnight, basically for success or whatever. There's so many, like you go on TikTok, people are talking about manifestations over and over again. You can't just you can't just write shit down, make vision boards and make it happen. You still have to put in the hours and the work and all of that things.
And then to like what you're saying about that, it just clicked in my head. Have you noticed the pendulum swing of it used to be the prosperity teaching and preaching of the 80s and 90s, and now it's not that anymore. Pastors ain't where they used to be. They were like gods, you know what I mean? And People would sit on the couch and be like, I gotta give Pastor so-and-so my money because he came on the screen.
Mhm.
Baby, now these manifestation people, men and women, are getting the bag.
I mean, look at people like oh God, what's that girl? B. Simone.
Yes. Billionaire B. She
B,
racked up. She got $1 million.
B. Simone and her giveaway pamphlet. And yeah, that was
copy paste.
Yeah, her copy and paste pamphlet. And you know, and then you have people like Hicks, Abraham Astor Hicks.
Oh God, yeah, that situation.
You have them,
and then look, Derek Jackson, child, like all these people. I have never deleted a picture faster because we had took a picture together when I saw him in New Orleans. Ooh, all that drama came down. I never scrolled faster through my IG.
Where's that picture? Let me get rid of this.
Delete. Yo, won't get me.
Well, you know, the wife has her armor of God. You know, her bonnet of.
She is exhausting. Every post is like, Father Abraham had many sons. And many sons had Father Abraham. Girl, chill the fuck out.
But unfortunately, that's what happens when you have a pimp as a husband.
Well, and to me, outside of him being a pimp, because there's even smart hoes, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that you have more religion driven into you instead of a relationship.
Okay.
Because I ain't saying I never took no shit, but couldn't nobody ever take me off a path spiritually ever.
Right.
Ever.
Right.
Now I've been thrown off of other shit, but not that. You can't tell me shit. I've seen too much. And I had a relationship with a higher power before I had anything else. And thank God, I always say, thank God I didn't grow up in church. Thank you, God, because
listen, and honey, I have stories. I grew up Baptist, Apostolic,
all that.
So,
see, I'm surprised you made it out alive.
and I at one point wanted to be a Catholic when I was in college because I thought it was pretty. I thought the whole candles. But then I discovered paganism, and I was like, oh, that's pretty much what it is.
I was like, this
you would get to swing that incense though. You just
I was like, that's.
No, in our dumbasses, we swinging too. They're gonna be like, get out.
You guys
but then when I was even in paganism, even in Wicca, because that's my foundation, when it comes to alternative spirituality, I was like, but there's no one that looks like me.
Right. Okay, so are you Wiccan?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, gotcha.
I consider myself.
Look, I found you a friend.
Yeah.
You see what I do?
I'm not Wiccan. I am
I consider myself a witch who practices who does a lot of African traditional.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. I have to.
Wait a minute. Are we about to be best friends, Leo? Are we about to be best friends?
So I think you just got a Texas friend, but he did say he's over Houston, so I don't know.
Yeah. You're only about 4 or 5 hours away. We're about to meet up, do some shit. Like,
yeah, we can. Listen, I'm down to eat, child. So.
Let me go get some babysitters.
No, you gotta book in one. That one watch.
He still gotta go to work. He gotta go to work.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, but I just didn't see anyone that looked like me, and then
you're absolutely right.
And it was funny because a woman hit me up just out of the blue, and she was like, "I know you don't know me, but I'm a friend of yours. Can I talk to you about something?" And I said, "Sure." And she said, "Okay, this may sound weird, but do you know who Oshun is?" And I said, "I've heard of her. Why?" She was like, "Well, she's telling me to get you. You gotta get ready.
Oh,
change is coming for you."
Oh wow.
And she was like, "Listen, when you get a chance, go to the store, get you a pumpkin, cut the pumpkin, get it, And she told me what to do, and I did what she did. And it was funny because I had been having dreams about a woman dressed in gold coming to me. And I was like, I don't know who this woman is, but she's so pretty. And she just keeps saying, and she said, "Oh my gosh, she's coming to you already." And I just started doing that. And she said, "I think that's what you're meant to do.
Oh my
that's
God.
And I was like, and then I started to look into like, Ifa and Santeria and da-da-da. And she was like, "Okay, you don't have to be initiated." And I was like, "I don't." She was like, "No." She was like, "You found a way to connect. That is what matters."
Yeah.
And I started, and I've been on that path ever since. So I do consider myself, Wicca is my foundation, but it's more into the African Yoruba.
That's how
I love that because Demetrius, when he was alive on the podcast,
not rested. He didn't die, you guys.
He's
dead to me.
Oh,
I'm always giving him shit. Don't
that's
even
our twin too.
This is what we do. If he was here, he would be doing the same thing.
Basically.
Now we're truly twin flames, and that's what's really disgusting. Because I'm just like, I hate you, but I love him so much. But he was literally talking about that because he got so upset out of nowhere one day, leaving us voice messages, and he was like, I just hate that I really cannot connect like down to the root, like to the soil of tribes before me. And I was like, yeah, without like what do they call it when you're astroplaning?
Astral traveling.
Oh, there we go. I said it right. I was like, other than that, I was like, it's gonna be kind of difficult. And I said I can share that frustration because it wasn't until I was a full grown Black adult. I've never cared more about being Black ever than when we got back to the States, because we grew up overseas as military brats. We come back, and I always joked that I didn't know I was Black till I was trying to graduate in Missouri. And then I was like,
you know what?
Woo, I'm colored. Hey, what is going on?
But I get it because but let me tell you.
You laughing, but I was for real.
No, it's the truth. I'm just laughing because I feel you on the same level.
I'm gonna tell you why I get that, because I lived in the St. Louis area for 18 years.
Shut up. What part?
I lived in a town called Belleville, Illinois.
Okay.
And I lived in and around that area. Shout out to Eckert's Farm. They had some good chicken. And all my friends were white. You know, everybody was white. Right. I was probably the only Black person in the room. You know, and I was the Black friend.
Right.
And it wasn't until 2000, like Trayvon Martin, Michael Brown, because I was around Ferguson when all that went down.
Gotcha.
So that was when and I kid you not, I woke up one day out of my sleep, and I was like, wait, that's me. I could be them.
Yep.
I could be Michael Brown. I could be Trayvon. I could be Eric Garner. You know, and that was when I was like, well, damn, I didn't know I was Black until I was until 2012.
Listen,
so I
hit different. It's different.
It's a whole nother thing.
It is. Now. It is. And then when you get around your own people, you don't know really how to act. It's kind of like, you know, in The Color Purple, when she finally sees Nettie and she's like, oh, Nettie, you know, and it's like,
yeah, it's like,
I know, because
and you know how Black folks do when they see you, they hug you. And then they do the little shake, you know?
Shake.
The hug shake.
I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to say when we release. I don't know what to say.
That, you know, so I wasn't
crazy.
Being around people of my own color. Like, even when I came to Houston my first year, I was like, I have never seen so many Black people in one place.
I mean, that's the thing. So like, even growing up overseas, we had other Black people around us, but it wasn't the same type of situation. It wasn't like a homogeneous section of just Black folks, you know what I mean? And
but it also shows me that we as people of color and Black people, we're not all monolithic. We're very different. And
we could keep telling people that, but they're not like, well, you know where we be fucking up, and then we can go to commercial. We fuck up because there's some stuff where we all are one band, one sound.
We are.
And we're like, and we be loud and proud about it. And then there's other stuff where it's like, well, we're splitting off into 25 different subgenres.
See, that's the thing though, but other cultures and ethnicities are allowed to do it.
Amen.
And on that note, we're going on break real quick.
We are. And we are back with our sponsor, Ultimate Mr. Pumice.
First
Mr. Pumice, make sure.
No, ma'am. I ain't trying to get sued. That was not a real sponsor. Please don't come after us. She tripping.
No, I'm always going to be here for them. I just realized I had a whole pack near me, and we wouldn't be the Triangl if we didn't say random shit.
That's true.
If you want your feet together outside of your regular maintenance, these bad boys and the baby foot peel that come from overseas is everything.
Listen, I have mine from Daiso, and it has hydrochloric acid in it.
Oh, your baby feet peel? That's what.
No,
it's
just
pumice.
And it's like
Ooh.
light blue and pretty, and it like works like a charm. It's only like $1.50. It's crazy.
Ooh.
I'm just saying, some
I'm with
Asian
it.
I need
stuff.
that for my feet.
And moisturized feet on this show.
Yeah. Because some people like to play with your feet.
I know, right? So
Listen.
getting back into our interview, because you
Get
know how
into
we
it,
like
yeah.
randomly just take off into other places.
Mhm.
I wanted to ask about your spirit guide team, because I know I have one, but I cannot see, hear, or feel them as often as I would like. Like, did you come into them like naturally? Did you have to work on it?
I had to
Like,
work on it.
yeah. And those of you who are listening who don't understand what I'm talking about, because I tend to just go into shit.
She does.
I do. The spirit guide team is like either your higher self or your ancestors or angels or whatever you do truly believe in. There's different versions for everyone, and they manifest differently for everybody. So that's just like a blanket term to say spirit guide team.
Yeah. Think Avatar, Mulan. You've seen this before.
Yeah,
Moana.
Mulan's great. That whole
You've
like,
seen it before.
yeah, when everybody
I
goes
love
into
that.
that little
I
temple.
loved it so
That's
much.
how I see it when I talk about my Okinawan side, because I'm half Okinawan. And I'm like, when I'm talking to my grandma and my ancestors on that side, I imagine a dragon from my Okinawan island.
That's
Love
wonderful.
that.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. I love
why,
that.
like that's why I'm so into incense too, because we use a lot of incense overseas there to do all of our prayers and stuff. And my grandmother taught me, like, I really want to get Okinawan incense. I can't buy it here. I have to order it, and I don't know who to get it from because they don't make it.
Research that for you. I'll look.
I was just gonna say we're gonna find somebody.
And it's different from Japanese incense. The Okinawan incense is flat and it's like 1/2 inch wide. And my grandmother used to say, when the other side hears you, it starts to split into from the ridges. And I know the single ones do it differently too. They burn differently. I've noticed when the other side hears you. And I'm just like, oh shit, it's like for real. Like for real. But my thing is, when I'm yelling and screaming at my spirit guides and they hear me, they do stuff. Like I was telling the team on our spooky nights that one time I was in the laundry room yelling and screaming. I was having an episode of just like, I guess I was stressed, anxiety, all of that. And I came home and they had moved my broom and dustpan onto the floor and just left it there for me to find in my fucking laundry. And I was like, wonderful. Like,
and she sent us a picture too. Well,
they said, clean up your life.
Get your shit together, basically.
Much,
get your shit
like,
together.
What you complaining about?
Clean
right, that's
woman.
what I got out of that. So, you know, I was like, I know I have one. I also had an incident a few months ago. This was the craziest thing because I've never been very clairaudient at all, other than like ringing in my ear. But this was a clear voice telling me he's gonna touch you. And then I opened my eyes and there was a black masked figure reaching out to me from the ceiling. And I was like, what the fuck? And
American Horror Story.
I basically,
you go through some stuff.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, it didn't terrify me or anything, but I know like I was knocked out again after that. So I know I have things in my vicinity. I just don't know. Do you see them? Do you hear them? Do you feel them?
I don't see them.
Okay.
Well, I don't see them like visually.
Gotcha.
I see them in my head.
Mentally.
Like,
do you have deities or do you have like ancestors or guides?
I would say I have guides.
Okay, gotcha.
And like the first to the top of my head are Edgar and Sophia. They're a married couple.
Okay.
And they're a Victorian married couple.
Oh.
And Edgar's very much about, very much a gentleman and, and very well put together. And Sophia's very flamboyant, and they're like different sides of myself, basically.
I was just gonna say, because in Japanese tradition, when they do guides and talk about guides and people who are around you, it comes through on your personality. And I was like, that makes so much sense really that you said that.
So those are the first two spirit guides that I ever encountered. And I actually did that through past life regression work.
Wow.
And
I'm so afraid to do that.
I like that.
I love it. No,
I want to try, but I want somebody who I can trust. You know what I mean?
No, I do. My first past life regression, it was so, and I actually can remember it vividly. In about, I think in all but one past life, I've been a woman. Except
Wow.
so and in my first past life regression, I was a freed woman of color.
Gotcha.
And my mother was a prostitute. She was a courtesan, and she slept with governors and politicians. And she ran away from my father, who was the plantation owner. And my father and mother did not get along. And I felt abandoned by her. And in the regression, I met her, and I asked her, I was like, why'd you leave me alone? And she said, honey, I just wanted my own life. I wanted independence. I love your daddy, but he wanted to control me. I don't want to be controlled. And she was rich. She was super rich.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, oh, honey. And in the past life, I had me a husband. He was a chocolate brother.
Oh.
And he was good with money. And we really were in love. And I can remember it vividly. It was a wonderful because it made me see, it's like, see, all the things that you are, all the things that you adore, because I am in a lot of ways, I'm very traditional. So that's you. You know what I mean? That's who you are. And
Maybe say different.
Oh, okay. I thought you were. I was like, is she saying the spirit stuff?
No, but I do keep hearing a alarm sound from one of y'all. I don't know whose it is. That's why I took out my headphones.
It might be
earlier. You weren't looking like that.
It's probably my phone. I'm sorry.
No.
But anyway, but
no, it's still going. That's why I don't understand.
Oh, well,
y'all don't hear it?
No.
Fuck. It's only when I put my headphones
I'm gonna talk to you. We
talk. We need to talk. I know. We do.
Anyway, so thank you, Brandi. But
I do what I can.
Mama B, honey. Mama B, Miss B. But yeah, I just and that's how I met my spirit guides, was through them.
How many do you have, do you think?
Huh?
Do you have a lot, or is
I
there
do.
You do? Okay.
I do. I have, let's see, there's Edgar, Sophia, there's Henry, who is he's like a free slave. Kind of reminds me of the guy from the Green Mile.
Oh, wow.
Oh gosh, that's almost.
I don't know if I should say that.
It's okay. This is the Triangle. You say whatever you want.
Pretty much.
And then there's Liliane Marie, and she's French, and she helps me a lot with my mediumship skills.
Wow.
So yeah, I have different spirit guides for different things. I don't always call upon them as I should. And it's funny, I'm actually in my room where my ancestor altar is, and I'm looking over it, and I'm like, I haven't given y'all water in like 3 weeks.
Oh.
And I wonder why. I'm like, if you wonder why you out of money.
That's probably what I need to do. I gotta fix my kitchen altar.
Listen, boy, we need some food up in here. But yeah, and then of course my ancestors, my grandmother, my grandpa, my aunt. I have people all around. I know I'm never alone, though there are moments where I do have loneliness, but I know I'm never by myself.
I just never had anybody I could talk to about that, so that's why I was like, excited.
No, we can definitely talk about that, honey.
You about to take my number whether you want it or not.
No, because
force yourself upon him.
But I'm gonna say this:
he shouldn't have dressed that way if he didn't want it.
No, but I can say you're so funny. But I can say this: I probably learned something from you. I'm like, that's what that means. Oh,
if you don't do shit else, you gonna learn something from CJ Child. Everybody learns something.
I mean, that's the way
my personality is like, it's so weird. I just watched this lady talk about spiritualists who are scientific, and I was like, this is for me.
But if you look at spiritualism, it is a science.
It is a science.
That's why she's so good. And when she talks about these things and breaks it down for people, like I love it.
Like, because
I don't mean it.
because
Go ahead.
because you said you do tarot readings too.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you by the book or are you intuitive? Because I feel like when I
No,
do
I'm
mine,
intuitive. I do
okay,
read
that's
the
how I
book.
read it
Don't
too.
get me wrong. I have the book,
I do
but
too.
I'm more.
It
I'm more
doesn't feel
intuitive.
right with me when I use the book though.
But I was going to ask you, sweetheart, have you ever thought about leading a mediumship circle? Because you should.
Really?
Mhm.
That just gave me goosebumps. I don't
You're
know.
good at it.
I don't know. I'll be scared though. I'll be scared though.
Now
but
you're
good at it.
scared.
You're going to end up, I feel like as you get deeper into your spiritual path,
Mhm.
you're going to end up getting into it.
Listen,
Because
y'all,
I see
like,
it in my head.
really,
I see
I
Well,
have been
so let it be
buying more
written.
books, and I have been
I
going
see
in
you
that
doing it
direction.
and doing quite well. And I feel like, I don't know where you, like in your house, but I feel like there's a spiritual room in your home.
It's
And
my kitchen.
I see a place with curtains.
Mhm.
And I just see you walking into it and you're like, come on in, sit down.
It's
And
my kitchen. Yeah.
and it's like you giving a seance.
Yeah, that's like my kitchen is my place where I keep my crystals. I have a kitchen altar for like, because in Okinawan culture, you
Mhm.
have a kitchen altar if you're the woman of the
It's
house,
funny,
basically.
that's where Ogun is in my house.
Really?
Mhm.
In the kitchen?
I love this so
Oh, getting
much.
goosebumps. Oh my
He's
God.
in my kitchen because his tools, he's proficient with chefs and cooks and things like that. And I love to cook. If I
So,
wasn't in this industry, I would probably be a chef. I love food.
so I have a bakery.
Oh,
I'm like,
Yes.
we hiding.
She's missed 100% work for herself. She's doing this for real, for
do
real.
you do
for real.
deliveries? Because I'll buy some from you.
I'm a home bakery under the cottage law for Texas right now, but I'm working on a brick and mortar as well.
You let me
But
know, honey, because I also
well, listen, come
I
on
love
down,
food.
come on
And
in,
her cookies
get
are
you some.
good.
Thank you.
I love food, so.
I
Listen,
do
that's,
too.
that's
I
one
do
thing we
too.
all love on the Triangl.
We do.
So what's your other question? Because we're going.
Listen, I know. See what I mean?
This is what we do. We good. We got like 15 minutes.
We
We're
just
good.
going to. That was one of my big things. Oh, I know. The motherfucking you guys, everybody talks about it now. The timeline jumps and dimension jumps that are happening. Do you believe in that? Do you? I'm curious because
Okay.
I don't think it's like a complete timeline jump. I feel like it's glitches in between dimensions and it's overlapping. And that's what we're seeing when things happen that are out of the ordinary.
Um, See, I'm not that big of a conspiracy theorist.
Okay, because we are.
I was like, cut his camera off.
No,
Pause.
Like, and then I'm gonna talk to him and I'm like, okay,
now
so
you're in the
the
triangle.
producers want you to go along with this.
I'm really like, listen. But I understand that why people have them. Do I believe in different energies and different planes and things? Yes, I do. I do believe in different worlds. Do I believe that? I do believe that the veils are getting thinner. That's one thing I do. Yeah, I do. Every Halloween I always get a little uneasy because I'm like, or every fall I'm like.
Is that why I don't feel like celebrating my birthday recently? Do you think my birthday is on Halloween?
Oh, is it? Wow.
That explains so much, right?
I haven't been like with my birthdays the last 2-3 years.
But probably because of everything that we had to deal
that
with.
too. I was blaming just like the whole, the C-19 situation and just being,
and it's
like out of it.
Been so heavy. You know what I mean?
God, like the energy.
Because I actually said like last year, I said I was gonna stop doing events on Halloween. And I missed that because I would do Halloween parties and people, ooh, and I'm like, I can't do this anymore because I don't view Halloween as a joke.
Right.
Halloween is a very sacred day. And so I'm like, no, I need to be at home. I need to be with my ancestors. I need to be listening to the blues and drinking them, giving them some rum and being like, look, y'all, y'all go ahead and play. Y'all go ahead and play in here.
Gotcha.
Don't fuck up none too much, but y'all play, you know. And I realized I said I can't do this because it's so heavy now.
Maybe that's what I need to switch. I've been doing just like family celebrations the last 2-3 years instead of like going
celebrate
out.
your ancestors, celebrate, because you got to remember you come from them, they come from you. So celebrate that part of yourself.
Listen,
you know,
noted.
as well as your birthday. You
right?
know?
I was just like, I think that's cute. Is that going to be our spooktacular
I think so.
thing?
Yeah.
You know? But that's why I stopped. And I got tired of feeling like I was a dancing bear for that time of year. And I was like, I'm sick of doing this. I don't want to be busy just during the month of October. I want to be busy all year round.
Right.
You know what I mean? So now I'm in the process of kind of rebranding myself because I realized part of it is my own fault too, because I bought into, I gotta have a gimmick. And I'm like, but now that I'm getting older, I'm like, but I don't want to do a gimmick anymore. I just want to
just be you.
Yeah. So I'm learning. I'm stepping into myself. And that's the one thing I will say that Houston has taught me. Houston has been good for that because it really is teaching me to step into me.
Right.
And I think if it weren't for Houston, Houston.
Oh no, it's hard to not say fur. Florida got me for years.
Fur.
Right.
Maybe then I'll bring back my Midwestern accent. But if it wasn't for Houston, that wouldn't have happened.
Gotcha.
Because Houston was the place where I learned to live alone, on my own, completely, no roommates, no coven mates, no family, just me.
It matters.
And I'm still learning me and who I am and who Leo Brown is and what I want my future, my life to look like. And I want to do everything.
That's awesome. Oh my gosh. Dude.
Thank you.
Chills. Just fucking chills.
I know. I feel like on that note, he wrapped us up. I think that was perfect.
Oh, did I?
I felt like that was perfect.
That was so beautiful. I
wanted some music to start. And like
just twinkling to come
in. That's just where I am right now. Like I'm 40. I recently turned 40 like months ago. But I had to admit, when I turned 40, I was actually kind of sad because I was like, God, I don't have all my, I wanted a big party. And, and it was just me and my best friend. And I was going to say, I don't have all the bells and whistles. But as I'm getting deeper into 40, I'm realizing that it's not about the bells and whistles anymore. It's about peace.
Yeah.
It's about quality over quantity. Even the people I choose to sleep with. I'm like,
amen.
If I'm not feeling you, I'm not going to do it.
Right.
I'm not going to reject myself to something I don't want to do or I'm not comfortable with.
Right.
And, I also realize there's nothing wrong with having standards, so, and that's hard because we all step into yourself because we're all about manifestation. Manifestation, that's the new buzzword.
Right. That's
so it's manifestation and self-love.
Right. Self-love and boss diva and being, a total boss bitch. And I'm just like, okay, but no, that takes time. It's like wearing a pair of shoes. You got to break them in. You don't just wear them, And so even now, I'm still learning, and I'm still learning how to say no, how to say yes.
Those boundaries, baby.
Yeah, how to be like, well, no, that's not what I want. I don't want to do that, or no, I don't want to have to struggle to pay my bills. I shouldn't have to do that,
Listen,
yeah, because
that's the biggest thing, right?
Because one of the things that I really wrestled with was because I recently raised my rates. And I really wrestled with it because I was like, but they're not gonna, and then someone was like, but you gotta eat. You have to make a living.
People will do it.
This is your work. This isn't just your calling. This is a business now. You pay taxes.
Come on.
Okay. So if they can't handle that, but they're not meant to be your client.
That's true.
That's what it comes down to. It's like it's you or them. And it's not that we don't appreciate, because we're all doing our business thing. It's not that you don't appreciate clients and everything that comes with them, including the money. But when rates have to change, I never feel the way even when my friends' rates change on things. I just bought tea from a girl and it used to be a certain amount of tea, under $20. Raised the rates, tax and shipping, I paid almost $50. I did not trip. I said, oh, okay, I noticed the price change. Well, let me go with this instead of that. Cool.
Mhm.
And that was it. Because your price went up.
It has to. I think, listen, let me quote my brother. My brother is an entrepreneur, like hardcore in Dallas. He owns a digital marketing company that's doing pretty well.
No, he is that guy.
He's that guy. He's that guy, but he's very down to earth. I keep him like grounded too. I'll be like, listen, you know, he is. He is.
Let me find out, Dan.
Let me go look the how you doing? Yeah.
Not him cheating on Damien already.
Oh no. Listen, between Damien, D, and now
look,
Leo.
I'ma tell like Damien, he cutting up. Your wife is for the streets.
Your wife is for the streets.
Go play. I'm tired of you.
Oh my God, I can't. No, but like he was saying that you should increase your price 20% every year, no matter what. 20%. And I have done that, and it's been like 2.5 years for me now since I technically started. So like just a small example, like my cookies, a dozen used to be $36. I'm at $65 minimum right now.
Okay.
So like and then you know what? Nobody bats an eye because the people who know your quality and your workmanship don't bat an eye. They don't.
Man, well, like somebody once told me, if somebody wants something bad enough, they'll pay for it.
Oh, absolutely. And everybody's running
talked
around.
about how much money we paid for food before, because CJ and I will probably too for sure. It's like we spend money on food.
Oh, food.
So we were talking about this time. I had my 30th birthday party, right? And Rachel, I know you're gonna listen. Dorinda, you good? So you know I'm not talking about y'all, child, because I know y'all listen. And there are sponsors; they get money to listen to us. But there were certain places I couldn't even go to where I wanted to in Vegas because I already knew how they would act. I'll spend $200-$300 on my own meal. I know myself. Okay. I'm like, bring me the Caymus wine, give me that tomahawk. Where's my blue cheese crumbles? Where's the creme brulee? Like I know that I'll spend money. Yeah, I'm like, I'll spend this money, and they won't. So when CJ and I were first talking about this, she was like, yeah, I'm about to raise my rates. Wasn't like she was like batting an eye about it. I was like, I love that much gusto about it because I'll pay $25 for 4 cookies. I know myself. There's always going to be somebody out there willing to pay.
Yeah, because the thing, if you think about it, like when you go to Starbucks and buy that cake pop, you're paying $3.50 for a cake pop.
Listen,
and people don't bet.
You're going to Colossal Cupcakes, and I paid. I'm not even getting into it. But the point is, I have gone over.
You sound like me because I'm like,
it's bad. I've dipped into like the real grocery money, but I was I'm like, well, it's Gigi's Cupcakes, and it was a wedding cake cupcake, or it was. Don't let it be a theme. Don't let it be a theme. I'm gonna buy the theme.
Listen, that's what I'm saying.
I'm like the exact same. Like when it comes to, I'm bad with food. I'm bad with makeup, and I'm bad with shoes.
Oh, let's go shoes.
Yeah, that's the holy trinity of chokehold.
Yeah, I'm bad with and don't let it be a cute boot. I mean, I'll be able to walk in that bitch, but I'm wearing.
Oh no, that never matters. What are you talking about?
I have to add purses to that. Mine is purses as well.
Mine is boot.
You know, I was never a bag girl until my mom got me a gator bag. Sorry, PETA people. She bought me a Brahmin, and I was like, oh my God, because I never had a bag that came in a bag in a bag. Yeah. And I said, oh, it's a bog. It's like, this is a bog.
What is like a vase?
It's a vase. Yeah, it's a vase. Not a vase, a vase. And I know that's a badass purse because she wants that bitch back. Because each time I wear it, I don't even wear it often because I was like, this ain't like my Walmart Target purse.
Right.
You know, when you a teenager, you wear them bitches out, leather all peeling off of the shit. Or you know the bag that had us in a chokehold, the black slouchy bag, the hobo bag with the silver ring. Bitch.
Please stop. Please stop. Oh my God.
Why did that have us in a chokehold?
I don't know. And then when they put initials on it, remember?
Bedazzled? You really didn't even remember. You know, anything that had a B, I was like, run it. I'll take 2. Thanks. Trashy. And then you get into your 30s and you're like, not only was the fashion sense out the window in the 20s, but we didn't care about the quality.
None.
I'm like, why was I buying shoes?
Listen, we were wearing crazy clothes. You know that
what
girl?
My thing, and this is so bad. My thing was in this field is, and I'm so gonna buy this too. My thing is Juicy Couture.
Do you know they're having a resurgence?
Forever 21 has a resurgence right now. Forever
They're having a
21
resurgence.
has Juicy Couture. They have a few other brands like Billabong as well. But it's coming back. They had the whole fucking
I
suits.
love Juicy Couture and I love Ed Hardy. And
Ooh, Ed Hardy.
I'm like, listen.
No, he didn't say Von Dutch, so it's still forgiven.
No, I don't do Von Dutch.
No,
but
Von
I love. Now, when Anna Nicole had her line at Von Dutch, I was like,
Now, before we realized he was a traitor, I ain't gonna lie, Tommy Hilfiger also had me.
Okay.
Tommy Hilfiger everything had me here. And then we found out he was on some shit. But to be fair, all of these clear people that run shit are on some shit. It is very rare.
Versace doesn't look like their stuff.
Come on.
Whatever.
And then the one that you let, is just fucking Naomi Campbell.
Yeah.
That's it.
I don't. Did you post this or somebody else I knew posted it on Facebook and I was running through it, but somebody said buy black owned and not black themed.
I posted it.
You did it. Okay, I thought so.
Because Bath and Body Works and the rest of them cutting up, child. They put off on everything.
I heard about that, about the Nubian
Negro.
Was it the Nubian candle?
I was like, why did y'all do? And then another reason why I was so upset, because I like Juvia's Palace.
I love
Juvia. And oh my God, love it. If you're listening, go find their IG. Do not bat an eyelash at the prices, because
the prices are not even that bad.
They're not bad. No, some people that don't do makeup, they be like, oh my God, $15 for lipstick. I'm like,
that's true.
I have paid like $40 for some off-brand Chanel shit. So yes, it costs. Rubus Siam, Chanel, please make it. But anyway, discontinued red, and I loved it. Anyway, I'm like, why not keep the highlight there, or open that up to where they're not just an Ulta? And I know at the end of the day, those deals work where maybe you can't franchise into every place, but get them more of a spot in Target. Target does a great job pairing off.
They've been doing it up at
Target. Been like, they decided y'all ain't gonna cancel us. That's where I get like Honey Pot stuff. They've been doing a really good job.
Because Target was the only place I could find Christmas wrapping paper with brown and black people on it. I'm just saying, and they've been doing it for the last 4 or 5 years before all of this.
Target's been doing it, damn thing.
Yes, they've been doing it. But I haven't gone yet for this month. I know they have like sections put up for Black History Month. I know they do.
They do, and stuff be sold out, and that's what I like.
But it's like somebody said about the whole Bath and Body Works candle thing. They were like, who was in that room during that meeting? They could have come up with.
We say that all the time.
But this is what Amanda Seals be talking about. They need a Devontae the intern or whoever. You need somebody in there. Because shit like that won't happen.
No,
and then the ones they get be sellouts. No lie.
No, because she was like, listen, you could have made a card party out of your bourbon, and it was a bourbon and something candle that you could have made a card party scent. You could have made a potato salad one, a banana pudding. I was like, I can see that. Like, I
want the greens one.
Or like a peach cobbler.
The way I would buy a peach cobbler.
Yeah. I was like, that's a really good
idea. Like, they really are cutting up.
She was just yelling out scents, and she was like, I'm like, that's a really valid point. I'm like,
that's just off the dome yelling random shit.
Yeah.
Because you don't have us in the room.
Right. And that's what she said. She was like, where was the person in that meeting? Because this shit ain't working. You doing champagne, it was strawberries and champagne, and putting a Unity candle on it. I was like,
I mean, it's in everyday life too. My friend was posting this on Facebook. I'm sorry if you see it, I'm not going to say your name, but she got an email for Black History Month where it ended with little history tidbit of the day for Black History Month, and it was like Nelson Mandela was let go out of jail this day, like so many years ago, and they ended it with that. Like, that's not what we're looking for.
But we're so much more than that.
Oh my God. That's
we're
like,
and you really do have to talk to the next generation, because one thing I like talking, even though my son's fucking ridiculous, shut up, CJ.
He's you.
I'm not trying to hear. He's somebody else. That shit skipped over. That's
you
something.
Like you just like your daddy.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, I said that over the weekend. I was like, oh, you look like your father. He was like, what I do? I felt so bad.
Don't say that. Don't do that.
I know. I felt so bad, but it came out so naturally because he did. And I was just like, ugh. And then I was like, oh, I'm sorry, baby. But I talk to him about this all the time.
Brandi,
I know. I'm trying. But when the check clears on time, he ain't got to worry about it. So, when that check not clearing on time, I will take you back.
All right, Selena Johnson. She like, guess what?
I listen. One thing about me, if I don't do shit else, I'll be in court. Like virtual court too. Yes, Your Honor, with my little blazer and pajama pants on. Like
I'm done.
The plaintiff says no,
but
I
I
got
her
a whole bunch of
her bob hair.
but oh no, because you know you got to switch the wig. It got to be the professional. Respect me as his ex-wife bob. I can't come in there with the sexy hair because they like, oh, this bitch having too much fun.
Right.
Not at all.
Gotta be serious.
Gotta be serious. Exactly. I switched the glasses. It's a thing. But I love that he's annoyed with his school and teaching Black history. I love that he calls it out for being cringy. I love that he questions what the teachers say because I send him in there like that. And I'm like, I have to reel him in sometimes because I say, hey, you can't go all Marcus Garvey and, you know, all that shit in there. But I like for you to know that because they're going to peanut butter you and Martin Luther King you to death all month. And we are so much more than that. And we're so much more. It didn't start with slavery, Martin Luther King, Obama, and now here at all. So I'm like, and of course we know it sucks because
I mean,
on paper we don't know everything.
I mean, let's look at Women's History Month, for instance. They do it with women too.
Absolutely.
All the suffragettes and Madam C.J. Walker, and I'm like, but that's not all.
That's all.
But you know, they also don't want to talk about the feminist movement really not being for the colored girl.
It sure wasn't. It was not for us. Girl, listen, I just talked to my daughter, my older one, about some history because she was talking about George Washington's fucking wooden teeth. I was like, you know, they weren't wooden, right? She was like, what? And I was like, think about it. If you were to chew with wood all the time and it's just sitting in your saliva, what does wood do when it's sitting in water? It expands. You can't chew with that shit. I was like, you know, those were slave teeth that they pulled out of his slaves and put them all together and put it in their mouth. She was like, what? I was like, yeah. I was like, you're not going to learn all this shit in school. She has seen it in high school. So, you know, like, but I like you do have to take it upon yourself. Do her own research. You do. You have to.
But the thing of it is now with this generation versus our is that they have it all at their fingertips. They just have to want to learn it.
Yeah, that's
where I think we as the, even though we're not, but we as the somewhat elders, that's where we come in.
Yeah, and that's what we have to do. She'd be annoyed though. She'd be like, "You turn
because
it into a lesson." I was like, "Yes, I
not
do."
you turn it into a lesson. That's
I'm Asian.
That's how you know you're of a certain age when your kids just like I just said one thing and it's you're right. It turned into an after school special now.
It sure does.
I gotta make sure you fucking know.
I'm like, that's why you don't.
Now you know not to tell like shit.
That's when it comes in. It turns into a the more you know moment.
Right.
Pretty much in the rainbow. The more you know.
Yeah.
Now, they may seem annoyed at the time, but like CJ and I have experience with our children. I love that my son told a teacher, although I didn't like the first part, he was basically like, now she may not help me a lot with the homework. And I'm like, easy. Like, don't tell him that. He's like, but I feel like my mom, for whatever she doesn't know when it comes to academically teaching me something, she's prepared me for life. He said that like 2 years ago to me when he was talking to a teacher. He's about to go to high school now. So to hear my 5th, 6th grader feels that way about how real I talk to him, because the way I talk to y'all, that's how I got to talk to him. Because I'm
but I can tell you, I'll tell you one thing about that. That's going to prepare him for the real world. That's because you may be like, "Oh, you too hard." No, you're not. You're preparing him for that world outside your doorstep.
Absolutely. Right. And I'm like, I'd rather do this, and I'd rather do this now than have the world try to train you, because they're going to be so unfair to you when they're already not going to respect your youth, the fact that you're a teen right now, and they're not going to respect that. So I got to come at you a different way. He don't like it sometimes, but even when he leave the house, I'm like, hey, what did I tell you? He's like, I'm not going to be a hashtag. I'm going to text you. I'm going to come home. All that stuff. It's a different conversation.
It is. And you have to have that conversation, I think, especially when you have children.
Listen,
you know, because I don't have kids. I love children.
Listen, especially when your kid is hanging out with a lot of kids that don't look like him.
Okay.
So because of the side of town we live on. So now I got you at this good, clear people.
Listen, let me tell you something.
And I need you to navigate this differently.
Okay. And I don't want it to be where it's like, what's like, you know, you going camping and you turn up missing.
Oh my
No,
God,
no,
that
I'm
fucking
no, I'm being
story was
serious about that.
insane.
Or the
Like
Yeah.
the fact that she went camping with those people, trusted them, and she didn't come home. I can't remember her name.
it reminded me
for the
of
life
the
of me. I
same
was
thing
like,
that happened to that grown ass woman that went to the white slumber party.
it's literally Get Out. Like seriously, like I know I've said this many times before. Get Out is rated comedy on Netflix if you look it up.
They were
It's
nominated for comedy and Oscars too.
It's
but
a
it was
horror movie for the rest of us. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? It's a fucking horror movie. The
Mhm.
way we were like, oh, he's going to die when the police car showed up at the end.
Everybody's
And we were
heart
like,
dropped.
oh my God, he didn't make it. We thought he was going to make it, but the cops are here now.
But that just goes to show you how our mentality is, because we don't.
We was ready for him to
Yeah.
get shot
Stuff like
at that
this,
moment.
yeah.
Look at how, unfortunately, look at how generations of trauma have been kind of. See, now we're going to a whole other bag.
No, that's the
Generations
truth.
of trauma.
That's
Because
true.
I'll get my sister soldier bag in a minute. Generations of
Yes,
trauma.
Sister
Yes.
Soldier.
Yes. Who live?
Let's go.
Show me the people who live with African people, who work with African people. I want to know them. I want to meet them. Like, listen, I have her interview, like when she was on Donahue and she was reading the
Oh my God, Donahue.
Your eyes.
That's such
Donahue
a good show.
and Sally Jesse Raphael.
Yes,
I miss
watch
shows like that where they're like into the nitty gritty.
It was real shit. They would be like, so we have a Klan member here. And I'm like, damn.
Oh my God.
And they would be real. They would be like,
Yeah.
I hate N-words. And it'd be like, yo.
He just
They
said
just
that on
comfortable.
national
And,
TV.
but what I would always respect is you're willing to have a conversation. I'll talk to almost anybody. If you're willing to have a conversation, let's have the fucking conversation.
See, and that's what I'm saying. I think that's so important, because I don't want to see. And when we say conversation, people, we don't mean the conversation that they're doing on Zeus.
Yeah.
You know,
right.
Easily, I don't care about that.
I don't care about that either. All that music, dun dun dun, walking to the room and shit. It's so dramatic, girl. It's so dramatic.
Right. I don't care about them. Like, so okay, and but having real conversations about real stuff that we as people of color, we as Black people go through, that is important.
It is.
That is needed, because if not, the next generation is going to be very lost.
Yeah.
And we're already getting there, because we got a lot of hoteps walking around here.
Listen, submit.
And I'm a woman like my mother. Okay, so basically you want to fuck your mama. That's what you're saying.
Listen, why you playing?
Listen.
The Fresh and Fit podcast, that's what you're saying. And y'all mad at Britney because she called y'all out. No.
I love that Britney called him out. And then I noticed there's a huge difference in Britney and how Kevin Samuels handled her versus how those asshats handled her. And I'm just like, but they've already had their asses handled.
I'm gonna need you to just come on.
He said, come join your family. That's what I heard.
I'm just waiting.
I'm join the barbecue.
Well, I will. Wait a minute. And when and if he does, here's what I'm going off of. I need some people, not all people, because everybody didn't say this, but I'm like, those people that were trying to shame him, if that is his truth, I was like, you're part of the problem, because it wouldn't make maybe certain things he said any less true just because he's gay. Well, so why even try to shame him for that shit?
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Good point. And it's like I often tell folks, coming out is a process. And coming out is not for everybody. Not everybody.
And I feel like if he was going to do it, he kind of made it difficult for himself by taking on this role that he has.
He would have to really just revamp and humble himself and then emerge, because I'm like, the community, and in my opinion, my small worldview, because I got my little pocket of friends and I know it doesn't represent the whole, but it's like they seem to always be ready to say, hey, let's see what this person's talking about. If you got a platform and you're willing to represent, let's see what you're about. It seems to be at first, let's embrace, and then it's like, let's evaluate, and then go from there. Right. So it's like, all you have to do, in my opinion, a lot of times, come with the right energy. And if you fucked up before, fix that shit publicly, just as loud as you were, whatever you was doing. Just own it. That's it. Just own it. I want Trey Songz to own his truth as well.
I want Tasha K to own hers, that she really is narcissistic.
Who else? Diddy, for sure.
He's a list.
We're just gonna go down the list.
We're just gonna go down the list. I want Diddy to own his, that he really is one of the Banji girls, and he's always been a Banji girl, and he's walked balls. But we won't go into that. Yeah.
I'm just saying, because some of that stuff, I was like, that just doesn't make sense. Not trying to put all straight men in a box, but I'm like, some of the stuff I've heard, I was like, just.
And mind you, this is from a person who would have wonderful, loving, passionate, dirty sex with Diddy. And with that not.
Exactly.
I
like that it was.
All right, wait, hold on. Let me reel you in, reel me in, reel y'all in. One or two last questions, real quick.
Okay.
We gotta wrap it up here soon.
Okay.
Dreams and ascending. What do you feel? Because you know how people are talking about ascending to the fifth dimension. I don't know what the fuck that means. I be joking about it.
Listen, the fifth dimension is a singing group. Didn't they sing Aquarius?
Please stop. They opened up for Morris Day in the Times.
Stop. Like, you know, because there's like, I don't know if you are cringed out by like spiritual and witch talk as I am when I do get on it and it comes up on my stuff. Like, listen, because I'm seeing people do like cutting string rituals for minor things. There was one lady who did it for her child. I was like, do you know what that does? Do you really know what that does? Those are for extreme purposes. You don't just do it.
She was like, it's
whenever
for Sarah Sue tonight.
Like Ben talked back to me. Like, you can't do it because of that. You know what I'm saying? I know that was a lot in one question, but how do you feel about ascending? Let's go there first.
Ascending. Well, I do believe that we should all ascend to greatness.
Okay.
Very PC.
Thank you.
That's that French guy coming.
Yes, that was that pageant girl coming out.
Yes.
That's what that was.
I'll give you a good pageant answer.
That was a good pageant answer. And world peace.
Yeah. Oh. Ascend. Well, I mean, I don't know. No, I don't know.
Okay. What about dream state? Do you ever astral project? Have you done it before?
You know what? If I do, believe it or not, if I do, I don't know it.
Gotcha.
Oh, okay.
I really don't. But I do believe in astral projection. I do.
Okay.
And I do believe in going into other realms, like in your dream work stuff. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Oh yes.
Do you ever get premonitions from dreams?
Actually, yeah.
Okay.
I've had it happen. Maybe not in the way that it happened verbatim.
Okay.
But yeah, like I remember I dreamed about, and I didn't realize it until years later. Mm-hmm. But I dreamed about meeting my best friend at the time.
Oh, wow.
And we were in his kitchen. His kitchen had this brown and yellow, like linoleum tile. Mm-hmm. And I remember meeting this little white boy in the dream. Mm-hmm. And I was sitting down talking. And I was like, we were just talking about spiritual stuff. And then fast forward years later, I'm in his house. Same pattern I saw on the floor. Yeah, ooh. Same little white boy. And we're talking. And I was like, because I get deja vu a lot.
Me too. That's like weirdest shit ever for me.
Yeah, like, I get it like that. I get deja vu.
And then sometimes it's like non-trivial stuff. Like it'll be like, I remember vividly like going to the softball game in Nebraska. And then I walked by this white Great Dane dog and then got to the field. And I was like, I done fucking did this last time.
Yeah. Already. Or I'll be like, wait, I've done this before. Like I'll be on the computer talking to somebody. I've talked to this person before. Just simple stuff. Yeah. So I do believe in that.
Okay. Yeah. Going back to the astral projecting, because it just popped into my head. I know you say you don't know if you're doing it because I feel like you do. Do you ever have dreams where you are sure that you have been either walking on the ground or something and you just take off into the sky?
Yes. I had it happen before I moved here.
Superman.
I was in a dream where in this dream was so weird. And I remember
I'm getting goosebumps, y'all. Jesus Christ.
I was really scared about moving here. This was the first time me moving on my own. And I remember I had a dream where it was me and all my friends. We were all in this metaphysical shop. And the shop had curtains, like these drapes, purple drapes. And I go through the purple drapes and I'm like, and then all of a sudden everything disappeared. I was like, what the hell was that? And I got scared. And then I looked around and I was on this beach completely by myself. And I looked around. And then all of a sudden, I literally sprouted wings.
Oh.
And I took off.
Isn't that
and
the
I woke up.
craziest? Oh God.
And I was like, okay, I think that's just telling me like, okay, you're gonna be a little afraid, but you're gonna make it. Yeah. So yes.
Crazy. Okay. I think we gotta wrap it up because it's getting long.
Oh, so give me another question.
Oh, you got it. I don't know. Do you have any?
This will be like the last
I'm
one.
sorry I took over all the questions. I had so
you're
many.
Good. You're good, because then y'all are gonna connect more after this, and then I have an idea after this to expand on something like this. But I'll get that to you.
Doesn't involve me.
Of course.
Yes, and you absolutely must come back.
It involves you coming however you want.
You have to come back to our show.
Like I said, honey, I'm here for lingerie. Just invite Damien to come.
Well, I was gonna no, seriously, he'd be one of the people. Like I have like a list.
That is
now,
going to be a crazy show, and I'm gonna need like 2 hours to myself.
No, we're going to, because I'm like, I'd like to have like a nice little POC mix of people who have these kind of experiences and sharing things, kind of like, and asking questions pertaining to this the same way I do candid combos. Like, what was a spiritual, if you feel like sharing, what was a spiritual encounter you had that made you weep? Stuff like that. Yeah. That, you know, people can converse about, get deep on, connect with whoever's listening, exchange information, all type of stuff.
Because I know he's got a lot too. I'm sure you do too. And just he'll randomly text me like, "Is the moon fucking with you today?" I'll be like, "Yes."
All I want to do is flirt.
It's Mercury wearing microwaves, because I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
I was like Gloria from Waiting Exhale. So what about you?
Is he watching? He's watching.
Yeah. He does watch our shows when he can. So you heard him, Damien.
Yeah, I'm like, what about
no, we're gonna get it together. Okay, last question, and then we gotta wrap it up.
Yes. Last question.
So do you think you would be able to help someone if they were like, hey, I want to fuck this person who's no longer with us, but I need their spirit through someone else.
You would ask a
willing, no, wait, listen, that's not crazy. No, listen, think about it. Think of some widow. Think of someone just really missing her husband.
Oh, okay.
And someone else is like, hey, you can use me as the vessel. And they do the same thing with
like a ghost situation.
Yeah. And they're just like, hey, Roger, take over the body of Devontae.
When Whoopi was like, take over my body so you can touch her again.
Something like,
Do I think
would you be okay being a part of something like that?
He's really thinking.
I'm like, is it a matter of the amount?
If you're listening, you're not watching. He is really thinking.
Truly, I have to say no, because one, I don't know what that would do as the vessel. I don't know what
I was just gonna say, where would your soul go, or are you gonna share it at the same time?
Yes, that would be an issue for me. Not for them, but I guess for myself, I wouldn't know how to handle that.
And then when they leave, will they take a piece of you too? Like
exactly.
What I'd be more concerned of is the woman or male that would want that. It's like, I don't know what you're going to be willing to do to try to get that again. Because that is like, shout out to the dork side of me coming out when Willow was going down bad in Buffy. And they told her, hey, you need to quit fucking with this magic. And she was like, man, I got this shit. And she was bringing people back. She was doing all type of wild shit. And it was like, no, we told you no for a reason.
Right.
Because, you weren't supposed to.
It's kind of like on Practical Magic. It's like, oh, you want to dabble? Okay, go ahead. We gonna show you what dabble does.
That's so crazy.
Yeah. So no, and I'm very much like one of the aunts. It's like, even if we did bring him back, it wouldn't be Michael.
Right. You know? But it's like they have that conversation, but it's just like the person's grief is so overwhelming. That's why I like that movie, The Babadook, because it's like focused on this is grief and this spirit manifested because you didn't handle this properly. And that's real.
And that's really truly, if you think about a lot of huntings and a lot of things like that.
Yes, it's grief.
That's really what it is. It manifests as that.
Yeah. That's when we were talking and having that episode, and we do our spectacular Blocktober kind of October thing.
That's how paranormal activity happens.
Yes. We're like, what happened in this house?
Yeah, you have all that grief and anger and sadness, and it's just feeding off of it. Because
and that's how them people keep getting killed the same way in the same houses. I believe that all fucking day.
Yeah.
Everybody,
Well, no.
each generation be chopped the fuck up. Come
I gotta
on.
ask one
Well,
last thing because it just I almost forgot.
Go ahead.
Do you believe in aliens?
Oh,
Do I believe that? Actually, I do. I do believe that there's other worlds, and that I don't think they want to come see us though. I think we want to see them because in a way we want to escape from what's going on. But I think they do exist. Extraterrestrials, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But in my mind, but in my head, they're like Alf.
Like Alf.
Yeah.
I hope they
in my mind, they're like
that.
Alf. Mailman.
Oh shit!
I love Alf. So in my head, when I think of an alien, I think of Alf.
Oh my god. Okay, that was my very last question. Thank you for answering. Anywho, so thank you for coming, Leo. We have enjoyed this. Well, I have enjoyed it extremely. You don't even understand.
And before we go, I gotta plug like all the.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask, is there anything you want to go ahead and throw out there for everybody?
Yes.
So
go right ahead.
If you want to get a reading from me, I'm available for readings and for life coaching via phone and Skype. So if you want to do that, you can log into my website, psychicleo.com. That's psychicleo.com. You can also follow me on Twitter at the real Psychic Leo Brown. You can follow me on Instagram, same thing, the real Psychic Leo Brown. Facebook, the real Psychic Leo Brown. I have a YouTube channel. I would love for you guys to go and watch my YouTube videos. I do celebrity readings on people. So, you can go and just type in Leo Brown Psychic and you'll find my YouTube channel. What else? I think
what you got coming up? Do you have anything planned?
I have an event coming up on 10th of this month. I'm doing a grand opening for a dart club.
Ooh.
Like for people that play darts. They wanted me to come.
I love playing darts. I love darts. I'm really good at it.
I'll be doing that. And that's pretty much it. And I am available to travel too. So if anybody out there wants to book me for an event, I'll come.
Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all your social handles and it will be on the description box for our YouTube channel and our podcast. So everybody will be able to find it. Yes, we're going to put it on the flyer as well. So if you have enjoyed us thus far, make sure you follow us on YouTube, hit that subscription button. And if you are listening to us, make sure you subscribe to your favorite podcast platform. We're on major ones like Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, all of the other stuff too. Still working on Twitch. I'm sorry. I lied about that like 2 months ago, but I'm working on it.
But to be fair, we just got comfortable on TikTok.
Yes,
let us breathe.
Yes, give us time. We old, okay? I'm
right.
Old.
I'm like,
I'm
Lord.
old. I'm old. I'm older. So all of that. I can't help it. But anyway, stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke and logical. If you're Black, stay Black. If you're not, support allies and unite. Thank you guys. Thank you, Leo, for being here. Please come back and see us. We loved it. It was so amazing. Thank you, and we'll catch you guys next time. Bye.